We're always fixated on good weather. We're a little bit disappointed when it's raining. And actually, we've had a lovely autumn with beautiful sunshine. But you know, when it is raining, we have to remember that rain is a sign of blessing. When I was a kid and it was a rainy day, my mom would say, look, the trees and the flowers are getting a drink. And that was her way of reminding us that even if rain is inconvenient, it is a siman bracha, a sign of blessing from God. This is the way that biblically rain operates as a symbol of God's attention and God's care. And in this week's parasha, rain and sustenance takes a very key place in understanding what happens in the city of Sodom. When God destroys Sodom, the verb that is used in the text is, and God rained down, v'Hashem himtir al Sodom ve'al Amorah, that God rained down gofrit va'esh, sulfur and fire from God, from heaven, me'et Hashem min hashamayim. And this reference to raining down destruction is very significant to understanding what Sodom was and what the problem or the immorality of Sodom was all about. To understand Sodom, we can sort of rewind to last week's parasha when Lot decides to live there. And we're told a little bit about the geography of this choice. It's when Lot and Abraham are separating from one another because their shepherds have not been getting along. And Lot looks around, Vayisa Lot et einav, he raises his eyes and he sees Kikar HaYarden, the Jordan River Valley. Kikula mashke. It is fertile, it is watered. Well, it's got a river running through it. And then the text mentions, by the way, Sodom and Amorah are right there before they had been destroyed. And then the Torah compares this region to two other places. Kegan Hashem, like the garden of the Lord, Garden of Eden, and Ke'eretz Mitzrayim, like the land of Egypt. These two places, as well as the Jordan River Valley, have something in common, which is a river that runs right through it. The Garden of Eden, we usually don't think in terms of the topography of the place, but the Torah describes rivers running through the garden, and of course it is lush and it is green and it is self-sufficient. And Egypt too, in a very different way, was watered readily by the Nile, and it was a place where you didn't have to be concerned for rain because you had the Nile River just right there. And so the Garden of Eden is an idyllic version of this sort of sense of self-sufficiency, that we have everything that we need, we're taken care of. And Egypt is sort of the other side of that coin, because it's understood to be a place that is godless, or actually pagan, full of many gods, including the Nile, but not a place of deep ethics or morality, a place of sort of plenty and a sense of wealth and well-being, really an incredible empire throughout the civilized world. And so whether we're in the Garden of Eden or we're in Egypt, both of these places are places where we have what we need and we want for nothing. And this was also the nature of Sodom and Gomorrah. A sense of being self-sufficient, a sense of not needing to worry about when the next rains will come, where the next crops will come from. That Jordan River Valley was the perfect place for a society that was self-sufficient and essentially selfish. And what characterized Sodom in this week's parasha is a lack of hospitality, is a deep sense of fear about the other, an insularity that meant they were looking inward, they were looking at themselves, and they were taking care of themselves and only themselves. And this idea of not needing the rain is sort of a descriptor of that mentality. I don't need anything, I don't need anyone, I don't even need God. That was Sodom and Gomorrah. That was Egypt. And the ideal version of that, the Garden of Eden, could not exist very long in the human world. And so what we have instead is a human need for rain in the land of Israel, except for that Jordan River Valley, that place of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so when God decides to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, when God sends down this fire and destruction, it is sort of ironically that the text uses this verb that God rained down. You don't think you need me? You don't think you need to help others? I'll show you rain. And God rains down destruction on Sodom. And so the text is really asking us to consider what it means to sometimes not have everything that we need, and then to seek it out through others or through prayer to God. These are things that Sodom didn't need to do, but that Abraham and the land of Israel represent very deeply. That what we lack, it gives us a sense of appreciation for what we have. That when rain comes, we recognize, oh, we needed that rain. Had we not received that rain, we would be concerned for our well-being. It gives rise to an ethic of praying for rain. We've been saying in our prayers every day, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, this rain prayer, which is a recognition of what we don't have and that which is not in our control. I love the blessing that we say after having a snack, not the Birkat HaMazon, the full grace after the meal, but Borei Nefashot, which is a blessing that is said as a bracha achrona, as an after blessing for just a small snack. We say Borei Nefashot Rabot. Blessed is God who created many beings, many creations, v'chesronan, and they're lacking. That which we lack is what makes us human, is what makes us compassionate, is what helps us understand that we rely on people and on God outside of ourselves, because if we get too self-sufficient, we slide into a sense of selfishness and immorality. So that's what Sodom teaches us, the other side, the example of what not to be, but that's what Avraham and the land of Israel teaches us through the topography. And so next time it rains, I hope we use it as an opportunity, first of all, to be grateful for the rain, and then also to reflect on what we don't have, what we need, and how that makes us more compassionate people. Shabbat Shalom.